And tensions are rising between the United States and Europe. The EU wants to tax America's high-flying tech companies like Google and Facebook, but the Trump administration isn't too happy about it. The US pulled out of trade negotiations last week, saying the talks had come to a standstill. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin also warned that the United States would retaliate if Europe continued without it. Unfazed by the threat, the European Commission said it will go ahead with or without the United States. The French finance minister called America's walkout a provocation. So today we have trade expert and associate dean for global legal studies at Case Western Reserve University, Juscelino Colares. Juscelino, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Professor, maybe you can explain why the US might be dragging their feet with this law.
Well, it's not that the U.S. is dragging their feet. It's that the Europeans are in a gigantic hurry to basically start taxing U.S. Digital services companies, which are industries where the United States companies have world leadership, such as Google, Facebook, etc. So the United States wants to make sure that whatever new rules evolve, we have a fair system where not only U.S. industries are targeted.
And of course, the Europeans would say that, there's sales on taxes here, American companies are making money here. Why shouldn't we be able to tax them? What do you think of that argument?
Oh, absolutely. But in every trade relationship, there has to be balancing. What the United States was looking for in these negotiations under the auspices of the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, was the development of a global standard in terms of new rules for international taxation that look at not only global digital services, but also at other industries, at new ways of taxing profits of corporations, etc. So it's a broader discussion. So since if we're going to have taxes on digital services, we might as well open the discussion and look at the entire set of taxable events in international business. Why only target U.S. companies then? And the United States perceived very early that this is not the direction the conversations were going, and this is why the United States pulled out.
And do you have any idea, was there a specific sticking point that was the catalyst to this pulling out, or are you sure?
Yes, the European countries, the EU countries, and the UK they only wanted to talk about taxing U.S. companies. And the United States says, well, if this is going to be the only conversation we're going to be having here, this is a non-starter. In order for us to agree to any rules, we need to see, the full range, the full scope of taxable activity in international business. Why do you only want to discuss services, in digital services, right? Where the United States obviously has a lead. And we have a lead because we provided a regulatory environment that was very favorable for lower, deregulation, lower or no regulations. And you see problems in the U.S. right now with respect to, First Amendment and freedom of expression issues that we are having because these companies are largely unregulated or have been unregulated. So the Europeans didn't do that. They pursued a different way. So now they want to make up some of that slack, and they only want to tax the United States. The United States is not saying, let's not tax these companies. The United States is saying, if we tax these companies, let's work for standard rules, and let's talk about, taxing standard rules for taxing international business in general, not only digital services. So, but the Europeans only want to talk about taxing digital services.
Okay, great. Professor, thank you very much for your time today. We'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully we'll have you back again soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you, my pleasure.